if he was removed. Judging by his tweet, like he wrote a tweet saying, "Oh, like a sad face, I'm no longer on CLG," which gives me the impression that he was kicked by the remainder of the team. But one would expect if you're going to remove a player, you're going to have a player to replace him immediately. Whereas if they choose to leave, then you have a problem. And it seems that at least for now they have a problem in that they have 4 players on a sub. So did he leave or what? We'll get back to that because we've got maps on the screen right now. So we can see the first map's going to be Cash, followed by Overpass with Mirage as a decider, should it be required. We'll go to the maps in a second. Fugly, what's going on?
Did you just call me Fugly? Did you mean to do that? I mean, earlier you called Henry Dan to me on WhatsApp. Then later in the show you called Matt Dan on WhatsApp. Now you're calling Dan Fugly.
I'm not calling Dan Fugly.
What is this? I should hope not. I should hope not, James. Either way, so I feel like this is a hard one to call. Obviously, as you said, there's obviously some. If it's not inner turmoil within the team, perhaps rectified by, as you say,
I like white buttons on the shirt.
A greater scheme that you have now Fugly removed to maybe, because obviously we have to always assume that every move that a team makes is to create a situation where the team can be better or can be, if let's say a team does something, you're expecting that they're going to try to find a way to make them better. So if they, let's say, kick or Fugly gets removed, it's because they want the team to be better. So what is the plan? As you say, like if there's no direct stand-in, it does raise some questions as to what the nature of this actually is. Either way, that will definitely be affecting CLG, and their results haven't been super consistent. Generally speaking, they can be very up and down, online especially. It's on LAN where they've tended to in the past to be a little bit more consistent, and they can always rely on JDM, for example. But in this situation with TSM, having moved to a team house, I'm told, and having a lot more kind of drive and practice under their belts, this actually becomes a winnable series for TSM all of a sudden, potentially, because this is the time to strike, when CLG are off balance. So, and with these first 2 maps, they are maps where I would personally definitely be giving CLG the edge. Typically, if it was CLG with the Fugly on the team, it's the stable CLG, but it's not. So how do you call this one? JDM needs to have a really good game, and he always does, but it needs to be particularly strong to disable TSM's opportunities.
Is there any measurement as to the effectiveness on average of a team house on a team?
I don't think that there necessarily is, because it's like with coaching as well, isn't it? A team house can be the absolute right thing for a team. And for some teams, let's say Fnatic, they don't need a team house. Some teams feel like they need to change something. Team house is the easiest thing to change, or in some cases for some teams.
But have we seen any hard evidence, even in interviews, where people said that team house has benefited them? Because I don't know that we have. Apart from fluff, where people say, "Oh, it's like a fighter saying every fight, I'm in the best shape of my life," that kind of nonsense. And afterwards, like, "Oh, well, I broke my foot in training," and all that kind of stuff. They'll say things to give the right answers, but beyond that, which you can normally see through, I don't know. I'm not saying that they're going to be worse, but I'm just saying I don't know if.
I mean, okay, so team houses, as far as Counter-Strike goes, in Europe, we don't have a lot of team houses, generally speaking. But then we're dealing with a kind of a different beast, because Europe, you already have like the best teams, and they're already doing things very, very well. And so for them to get a team house, because obviously the point of the team house is to be completely immersed in the environment of CS, can be immersed into a schedule, be immersed into the game of Counter-Strike, thinking about it night and day, constantly. Whereas if you look at like Fnatic, Astralis, they're players that have a lot going on behind the scenes. They have their own lives, their family, their friends, the girlfriends, maybe just they have their lives that in their respective areas. So they aren't going to want to remove that, because that actually helps them play well. But let's say you're playing catch up. Let's say you're not already the best player in the world, but you need some way to try to bridge that gap of time and experience and position as let's say Fnatic have. I think a team house is a good answer for that. And if you look at, let's say, one place where it's really standard is StarCraft. Brood War, for example, much more I would say than future editions of StarCraft. But it's a Brood War, you had team houses, and the benefit there is that you can put everyone in a house. You can put, let's say, a practice team in that house as well, so that let's say you have lots of strategies you want to practice, that way you can effectively not show them against anybody else as well, which is really cool. You can have a coach, if he knows what he's doing, he can really help to train the team very well within that environment. I mean, if you look at, for example, with NIP as well, and they would always have, if they could, boot camps before, and boot camps is basically like a short version of a team house, where you get this super intense burst where you can just go over everything super hardcore. But do TSM have the structure, James? Do they have the coach? Do they have the right environment with the team house? Because a place where you can all be together is one thing, but a lot of other stuff has to fit in together to make it actually an experience that will improve you. I
mean, one good thing is, for example, we saw the picture of Threat with the board saying, let's have a look at this and measure all this stuff, and you can all sit around and discuss that. And it's much better to discuss that in person than it is to do it over the internet. And obviously, when you're in person, you're going to have a better respect for someone than if you are online. I think it sucks if you have girlfriends as well, with a team house. I don't think the idea of them is that strong. It sounds cool, but I think in practice maybe.
I think not
so much. But
I think it's very, 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 very hard to be at your best level with a girlfriend. I think it's very hard because I think that a lot of I've seen it a lot in some games in the past, where you'd have like a top player or a very promising player who starts to get success, starts to get that money, then they get a girlfriend, James, then they start to not have any more success, or at least the success is limited, or at least the trajectory kind of goes down. And this is partly because the level of time and commitment everyone else is able to put in this highly competitive environment. If you take a lot of your time away because you now have that, you have somebody else in your life that you care about and that you're investing time into, that's less time into the game. And that's more time for your opponents to catch up on you. So that I've seen that be a negative thing in a lot of instances. Again, for some people who already have a super high level, they found a way to make the balance work.
I'll make it work then.
We've seen a lot of players who have done that. There's a lot of very good players in CS:GO that do have girlfriends and still are right at the top of the scene. So there is ways to make it work, but not everyone is capable of doing that.
Bad news if you are a fan of CLG. Hazed's VAC authentication errors continue. And last time we had a game here, I imagine he'll tweet again because they're getting a sub in to replace him. But if it's a VAC authentication, if it's a VAC authentication error, then that's with VAC servers. It's nothing to do with us. But I think he should look at. I don't know what servers VAC authentication goes to, but I think he should email his ISP about this and see if they can see where the problem lies. But Ruru will be replacing Hazed. So this is a question we thought, okay, so FULLHD's not playing and Lil Man is. But Lil Man's Hazed's personal super sub. So if he's already in, then what happens when Hazed disconnects? And lo and behold, Hazed can't even start the match. So it is going to be Ruru. So at least that's a replacement we're familiar with on this occasion. But Lil Man's been delivering that.
I mean, firstly on the Hazed point, it is a little bit strange that it's such a pervasive issue for him and not for anybody else really. Like to this extent, I mean, surely one has to imagine that there are definitely solutions, and I would also presume that he's been working on solutions. It seems like quite an outlier.
Never presumed that.
It seems like quite an outlier result that let's say, giving the benefit of the doubt that he has been working hard on solutions, that he cannot find one. That seems quite strange. I mean, you would expect that any number of, just even having, like I said before, like having, a fresh install on a different partition or hard disk with Counter-Strike on that, with that operating system, just to like control the environment, at least from like a software perspective, that should be one of the easiest problem solvers. Just at least to play competitive, to play your league matches. There must be a solution out there, James. I'm still not convinced. But anyway, about Lil Man, Lil Man's been doing quite well. He doesn't really have a professional background, so to speak, but he obviously does play some FPL and he has some good individual performances. But you can see the lack of experience on him. You can see that in certain spots where it's a pretty easy situation where he doesn't have to make many decisions and he's sort of in the right position, that he's going to be able to play well because he's got some good individual skills. But when it comes to the more complicated decisions, when it comes to team play setups and more nuanced tactical gameplay that's supposed to be strong in a team environment, he's not really in the team, so you're not going to see that so much. So it's definitely going to be a weakness. And again, TSM should be able to really take advantage here. They might just win this 2-0 at this rate, James. I'm not confident right now for CLG.
Yeah, so CLG with 3 of their normal players, Ruru and Lil Man, We will see what they can do. I think this is going to be pretty damn difficult for the CLG side, or at least this should. Again, Semphis has been calling for the TSM team recently as well. Winning the range duel there. JDM going to get taken down with the Glock, so not the start that CLG wanted. Cutler trying to do what he can to bring this back for his team, but too many people pushing on his position. Lil Man and A main now will take the twist down. Very patient shooting by him. There goes Automatic as well, so he's kept CLG in with a fighting chance. Semphis though will take him down.
But here comes Tarek. Great first opener from him to create that 1v1, but the bomb will be planted, guaranteeing the third round AKs or guaranteeing the force by next round if they want to go for it, but that's going to be their pop. A sidestep and a critical blow struck to win the round for TSM thanks to Semphis, leading by example. 3 kills in that pistol round, 2 for Sick as well. Sick and Twist, players that have done quite well in some recent TSM matches, and I'm very curious to see any improvement from TSM's anti-ecos and anti-force buys. One of the easiest rounds to prepare, even if, let's say, the execution's a little bit off, you can at least see what they're trying to do and see if they're on the right tracks. Execution comes with time and experience and practice, but I just want to see them doing the right things. Now, you can see so far they're holding the sort of default here. Very passive towards T-spawn, looking into B storage, perhaps on the sign. In T-warehouse, very passive as well. And also on door. Now, what you would expect is to see them all come together at some point, or to have a player look for information who's got one of the SMGs to see if there is a stack, and have the other players perhaps on another side of the map trying to look for the set piece in there. Now, you can just go for the set piece blind. You don't have to find information with it, but you do need to throw the mollies and get them in the good places and move in as a unit. And now we can start to see TSM converging, although Sick is isolated here in middle, and he's tagged down very low. He's going to be very careful here not to give the AK away, but he's going to die. The AK is up for grabs, but here goes the side take.
So Automatic with the UMP, I was going to say, was holding angles, but he's been shot through the box stand. So there is a man advantage, but a thin one. Twist down to 11 HP here as Rude tries to play close to the smoke. We'll see if he can find any players. Twist is playing under the boost position, and Rude may find him. Indeed, he'll take him down 4-3. So 2 versus 1 now. FNS, the last man standing, versus a scout on a CZ. And he's going to have to be weary of that CZ especially. There it goes, leaving the scout alone. That's Tarek. And he'll need to have 2 tags. There's 1, but needs a bit more than that to put a pistol out. Can't finish things off here. FNS will save an AK at the very least. An expensive round for TSM. To be honest with you, I didn't expect much from an anti-eco, especially with Semphis calling, which is a recent change.
Yep.
I didn't... Well, that's no surprise, but they survived that, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, no,
I mean, what I mean by that is I didn't expect any like intricate executes onto a site on an anti-eco.
I think they, again, I think what I said previously, I feel like that was the signs of a good anti-force buy there from them. Perhaps the execution could be a bit tight, but I think they're doing the right things more or less. Maybe the API taking mid might have been something to think about perhaps in the future, but either way, TSM playing that anti-eco round, the pure eco coming in from CLG, and it must feel good for Finesse to give it to his old team. As we saw him clutching the last round 1 versus 2 at the end with the MP7, and now...
Did Sick run out of bullets?
I don't know.
It looks like he ran into CT. There's not many bullets in the magazine and ran out of bullets. That's not good.
Well, it's going to be 3-0. TSM winning that round with only 1 loss. So far, so good for TSM. And now it's down to the pure rifle buy of CLG to see if they can take this one away from TSM. I wonder how CLG will actually opt to play this with Rue and Little Man, because there's 2 stand-ins, essentially, right? It's funny because you actually basically said this was going to happen earlier as well. It's like, we knew that Little Man was going to stand in.
Yeah.
And you're like, Dan,
who's going to play for Hazed?
Who's going to basically replace Little Man as the stand-in of Hazed?
Yeah. He's going to be the everyman for Hazed. Hazed's personal sub. Well, it turns out that today it's going to be Ruru. So both teams on the bye now.
Shouldn't they be paying Little Man at this point?
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't announced him. Well, timing pick by Semphis there, and down goes JDM. So we've got Molotovs flying into the vent. There is a player outside of B actually, and it looks like they were holding an angle to punish somebody coming out of the vent, which is great to see. Something we inexplicably don't see so often anymore. And they've since moved back. So 50 seconds left. TSM pushing B. The rotation should come in towards A for the CT side, but they've only got 3 players left to do it with. Cutler getting shot through the smoke here. It's going to get taken down before he knows anything about it, leaving Tarek and Ryu alone versus 5. So I think they want to go for the save here because the retake seems very unlikely indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really cool too, because if TSM, let's say, have Cache as one of their maps which they want to be really good at, and they've been practicing it, they've been running lots of strategies and talking about it a lot and setting up a lot of stuff for it, I would love to see TSM basically kind of put on somewhat of a masterclass on CLG, because CLG have to rely a lot on the basics and individual skill because they are essentially playing with 2 stand-ins. That is really, really disruptive to their normal operations. And you know, JDM is JDM, but he can only do so much for a team. Now, TSM, again, in the fact that there's so much disruption on CLG, they should be in a position where they can play this series exactly how they want to play, because it's going to be hard for CLG to deny them. It just comes down to TSM, you know, it's us seeing their structure or the new structure that they may have put in place and seeing them execute it effectively against the stand-in mania of CLG. But they have forced CLG back to another eco. Of course, there are some saved weapons. And let's have a look and see how TSM will play this one. There is a push into A main, which they shall soon discover, perhaps. Ooh, yeah, there it is. Tarek going close, in fact. Waiting for the tunnel cues.
He's got a teammate holding an angle from the entrance of main as well. So it seems that he's playing a bit of a blind spot. Ooh, Cutler. Speaking of blind spots, with the CZ getting in there, putting in work. 6 to trade though. Tarek making his presence known, but no frags for him yet. The bomb is in an awkward position, however. And that's not the best angle for Automatic, unfortunately. Nature of the beast. The squeaky door. These new events actually, if you get close to them, like right in the right corner, looking towards T-spawn where 6 just run into, they really block a lot of vision. I don't know why they were changed. I feel like they were changed for the sake of changing them, but like, that a bit later on. Sick and Twist coming in with 2 fast frags. Lil Man goes down, leaving Rua 4 HP and Tarek left for the CLG side versus 3. FNS and Sick are tagged to different levels. So there's still work to be done here for the CLG side, but you have to wonder how much they will do. Wow, Rue went from 4 HP down to 2 HP. He lost half his life. Wow.
Yeah, and he's going to get out of there, save again. And CLG will have a nice buy in the next round. But yeah, generally well handled by TSM. I feel like, you know, the Automatic should have been able to get that frag onto Rue, to be honest, from the door, because, or at least there were some opportunities for some cool plays there, due to the fact that they realized, obviously, because the presence was made known as there were battles being taken from the CTs kind of deep into A main, that there was an opportunity to kind of go out of the door, basically. And perhaps, you know, Automatic could have found a better engagement. I think when we saw him commit to the engagement there, I actually feel like staying alive would have done more damage, because after showing yourself once, and you knew there were 2 CTs there, he has a very unfavorable engagement, but it's one of those spots where you kind of don't change your decision making despite the situation changing. I think we've all done that, because you really had your heart and your mind set on one play, then something happens to make it bad. But either way, you'll have the next round playing out here. TSM against that good buy of CLG. Nice counter grenades actually to deny them the aggression through the A main, and actually it's done a very critical damage, but still they're going to go forwards. Wolfen spot this, spraying wildly, finds the headshot onto Lil Man. Cutler gets taken out as well by Automatic. He was on 6 HP or something, so a 4 versus 3 opener for TSM. They must be loving it.
Yeah, it's a good start from them. Down goes JDM, so 2 plays left. Rue coming in from the back, he's going to get traded as well, so 3 versus 1. And this should be another fast round here from TSM. We'll see if Tarek can do anything about it. We've still got a player in mid for him to find. Although he's now gone to pick up the bomb and take it over towards A. What on earth was I saying before? I'm trying to remember now. But it seems Tarek's going to go for it. The bomb's not down yet, so he definitely will continue on his journey. Slightly moving over to the right in a wall of smoke. We'll see if he can use that to his advantage. Bomb gets planted. Just using the gaps there, trying to find whatever he can for minimal risk. But the angles will be too great down, and he will get taken down by a twist. So a solid 6-0 for TSM.
Yeah, there's been some bumps in the ride along the way, but generally speaking, they've created enough opportunities within the rounds to, within the round, actually create a buffer in case there are mistakes on execution or otherwise. And back to the AWPs, JDM and Tarek, and one thing that TSM will likely realize is that one of the ways that they can lose this match is if JDM goes off, and JDM does tend to go off. That's kind of what he does. He essentially, I think, has been the best AWPer in North America for some time, and or at least I feel confident to say that from his performances. With Skadoodle on the still on the slump, and in many ways compared to his form last year, and Kusta not necessarily living up to some of the hype just yet. And TSM getting up against two players here towards A, very close. Even the push coming in, so Cutler going for it there. Automatic guns him down. This is not a good way to start around like this, and they're going to get a set piece in their face on the A bomb side. Nazer down. Oh, this looks bad here for CLG.
Yeah, TSM thriving on the bedlam of this round. Tarek, though, still bringing some responses in. Man advantage, and he will be stuck behind those smokes for a while. Or will he? It's taken down by Automatic, leaving JDM alone. Not much he can really do in this situation, apart from try to save the gun, which aggression may be the best form of defense for them in the meantime. But he'll start to move away now. So 7-0 to TSM. And CLG definitely not in this game, but at this point with two subs, essentially, can you even call them CLG?
Absolutely, that's the issue. And again, I do wonder if TSM thought this. Okay, guys, this is a matchup where, again, the way that the opponents win this is if their AWPs are hitting all the shots. If JDM is getting an opportunity to fire his AWP a lot. What you'll notice is that JDM has had an AWP in multiple rounds. He has one frag. And you can credit it to the way that TSM have played the rounds, which is more or less, I would say, if you're taking that approach and trying to disable the JDM, that's what you go with those set pieces. You go with those explosive plays with all the smokes down. You take the bomb site and force JDM to either retake or just not be able to see anything on the defense. So far, so good here for TSM, looking to make it a quick 8-0 against the poor buy here of CLG. But actually, it's going to be JDM to pick up the mid kill. And TSM start the round with an unlikely disadvantage.
Semphis setting up for the forklift smoke. While the team trying to slow things down here. So Boost comes in and Ryu gets traded. Semphis will be the one to be disposed of. But again, look at the buy here for CLG. Even with the man advantage, they've only got two players with rifles, and one of them is on a scout and no armor. So definitely a less than ideal situation here for the CLG side, looking to get their first round on the board. There goes the little man in the mid area. You can see Cutler has pushed through the door, and Twist going to get taken down with a knife in his hand, and that's a bomb spotted, which means a rotation can come in for the CTs here, and it's close enough that Cutler can try and play with the CZ and do more damage. Automatics picked up the bomb, but he's got 5 HP, and he needs to get into a safe spot there. Cutler comes out again, and Automatic finds a frag now. But again, he's on 5 HP versus 2. 35 seconds left on the clock, and we might see CLG with their first round on the board here. Automatic needs to find heads. Getting close to 25 seconds. JDM going to find him just as Automatic looks away, and CLG make it 1-7.
Yeah, they win that round, but the hard part is not over yet. They lost quite a few players there, so the almost full rebuy will commence. You can see that only 2 guns were saved, so 6k on JDM, but only $3,000 on Tarek. So it'll be quite detrimental for them to lose this round. It does mean that they can't properly buy in the following. So we shall see whether or not TSM can cripple them here with a well-placed B round. Good entry from Semphis, takes down Tarek. In comes JDM from heaven, looking for the first shot. Denied though, as Automatic holds down the flank momentarily. JDM, we look to JDM for something here to get his team back into this round. Pushes down a Molotov, which will send FNS back out of position, but There is no way in to this B bomb site. Not anytime soon. Still way too many grenades. In fact, there are lots of grenades left still. We've got 3 flashes, a smoke, and a Molotov. That's going to buy a lot more time. CLG don't want anything to do with it, and they will fall back. If they can save these 3 guns, they can easily buy next round. The only situation where they can't buy next round is if all 3 players die, I think. I think even if one survives, they can still scrap together a buy, as JDM has 6k in the bank.
Well, all the CTs appear to be towards Squeaky and A main. And that is exactly where these Ts are headed. So they're going to get sandwiched. Let's see if any of them manage to survive. Lil Man's going to get taken down, as is Cutler. So it's JDM with the AWP. And that's the first guy you want to take down in this situation. He's going to be the last guy standing for CLG. So we'll see if he can mount a defense in this round. He can drop to a teammate, so Tarek can buy as well.
Yeah, you can actually drop 2 Famises if he wants.
Oh, this is a really late deployment of weaponry, which means that nobody's going to have a good spawn for anything. So that's a bank on a slow round from TSM. Looks like TSM may be going for a wall of smokes in mid. Well, never mind that. Semphis is just going to come in with a big green gun and do the damage. Big flash coming in for the CTs, but any frags, flashes won't do it. Won't be enough. So we've got the double ops onto CLG and Cutler on the M4, but it will be Lil Man of the P250 to take down Semphis.
Yeah, you can always count on Semphis with the big man peaks. But he and also Automatic keeping the wrath of that Lil Man P250. There you go. Looks like solid chances here now for CLG after the initial turmoil in middle. Lil Man looking for more, holding it down in mid so far. Facing versus 2 players in the 3 versus 2 situation. Now that's a situation whereby you don't want to commit to the fight. You just want that info. And you want to force the Ts to make a mistake because the bomb sites are still held here. If you can just keep the what is known for their positions, or keep the knowledge of their positions rather, I should say, then that's the big win there. Oh dear, Tarek missing that shot. Gets the no-scope though. And now it's down to Finesse as he runs into the bomb site. And he will find it is sorely lacking a CT presence. And he seems to know this as he has gone for quite an open plant. Very defensible from main, which might be the first spot that they look to with a plant like that. So if he stays hidden the entire time, he might be able to capitalize on them checking main first, but we shall see.
So both CTs on the site now. Meaty HE comes in. Tarek jumping all over the place, going to get spotted, but Rue will trade, so CLG get their second round on the board. Only surviving with 1 player though. You have to wonder if TSM will choose to force up, as they have a great opportunity to break the CT economy. Once again, I say force up down, they've got plenty of money. Yeah. They're going to go straight in for the big buy.
Yeah, and again, only 2 players survived in the previous round for CLG, so despite winning the round, their buy is awful. In fact, it is quite lacking. I mean, you've got a FAMAS and not even a rifle, just a 5.7 on Tarek. But you just got to find the right position. And Tarek is probably one of the best players on the server to be in a position with just a pistol. I have to say, if he is in good shape today. So passive start to the round here for CLG. A light presence on A. In fact, that is the weak point, but they've put their strongest link in that position. JDM with the AWP. He's got fast rotation in support if they do attack him suddenly from Lil Man on short. That is his direct and the most immediate support. Then it would be Rue, as we can see there, if there is to be a fast A play, which could be brewing right now. We've got TSM slowly shuffling towards that position of A main. Now JDM, if he gets the first kill, he's going to enjoy the chances, or like the chances rather, for CLG to hold the site. But here we go, the first challenges. Last time Semphis won the 1 versus 1. This time he's got a lot of support in nades. JDM knows it's coming, catches Semphis with a nade in his hand. That's not how you want to do it. And it looks like Automatic to trade back. Taking down a teammate in the process, not going to help.
Yeah, CLG appear to have momentum on their side now. Oh, sick, just running into the bullets of Tarek. Lil Man to finish off Twist. 4 players surviving for CLG. And again, this is another map where they may claw back quite a reasonable score on the CT side, but first they'll have to face another buy from TSM, who the train seems to be slowing down now. Maybe CLG are figuring out how to react, how to answer to the aggression of TSM. So how can TSM switch things up now and keep keep their lead, extend their lead, keep their opponents guessing. Got JDM ready to push the squeaky door here. And the T's will need to be wary. We know how dangerous that man is with a AWP, with an AWP. Sick holding passively towards long B, rather. All the way almost from T-spawn.
JDM's going in though. Boom! Automatic is down. But the trade, well, rather not really a trade, but a frag comes in for mid to equalize the numbers. And it's very telegraphed at this point that the B play is coming. But CLG don't have the full information just yet. So they're going to have to rely on the defenders. And it's just going to be Tarek basically, because I think that his teammate's been smoked off. Yeah, he has to go up to heaven. And there it is, Tarek getting seemingly easy shots, finishing off the C's with ease as he is now dealing with a few blind players. And it is very, very good here for Tarek so far. And in comes the cavalry. Blue feels confident to just dive in there as there are so many T's dead. And that is the 4-8. So a string of rounds here for CLG. Counterlogic Gaming with a resurgence, but how far does it go?
Only time will tell. So one more buy coming out for TSM. Now let's see if they can field better execution on this particular round than previous ones. Bombs being left close to T warehouse, so carried by the players. There's initial Molotovs coming in to stop any fast plants, but there are many bodies over towards A main. If you are playing close mid, then you would have heard them go in. Always be wary if you're dropping the bomb around main that you can hear it from mid. So Team TSM looking to go for a fast play here. Lil Man gets a 1 versus 1 with the bomb, no less. Twist falls. The bomb is on the floor. Absolutely no answer from TSM whatsoever. Players trying to push it right now. Lil Man still alive in the back. Finally gets taken down. Cutler's taken down as well. Tarek has an interesting spot towards the site itself. Pop flashes coming in, won't be flashed for long. More smokes. Rue looking to push as well. Down goes Tempest. Not a two-man spray down, no. FNS will trade, even in a 3 versus 2. The bomb's still not planted though.
Yeah, awkward situation. There are lots of spots to, opportunities to throw the bomb into Tempest, who's been on the spot for like the entire duration of this push at this point. But finally the bomb is planted. How much will that delay matter here? We've got the 2 CTs remaining, Tarek and JDM, just knocking at the door of the bomb site with the AWPs is an effective way to knock. If ever I saw one, and Tarek there finding that body shots onto more than one player, leaving himself now in a 1 versus 1, a very, very winnable situation. Tarek will tap the bomb to force out Sick, but will he buy it? Looks like he goes straight into the reticle of Tarek's 5-7, and there is the defuse. CLG pick up and yet another round. And that, it feels like, must be 4 in a row at this point.
Yeah, it seems that TSM have been figured out and they perhaps don't know what to do to get their edge back, or maybe it's just small vacuums deciding which way these rounds will ultimately go. Either way, double AWPs coming out for the CLG side and no AWPs on to TSM, so Tempest will be somewhat hamstrung in this round, at least until he picks up a AWP, if he chooses to do so, if he gets the opportunity to do so, rather. So, TSM moving over towards A main once again. This time CLG are not putting anybody on the site itself. They're trying to play away as far as possible. Perhaps having a... Well, actually, I will not speculate as to why. But again, we have Sick over towards T spawn, looking towards B. And the rest of the team holding angles, maybe looking for JDM, maybe afraid of JDM. I'd be afraid of JDM. Gotta be afraid of Lil Man as well, taking down Sick in mid.
Yeah, just winning with the position there. I mean, Lil Man had a risk and what position he took, but the gamble actually was the correct one in this instance, as it is like the anti-main position or anti-push from the warehouse. But here comes the push from TSM, speaking of pushes, straight into the A site there. Finesse very delicately placing flashes with the smoke as he makes his way straight onto a quick tap onto Rue. Actually only got time to shoot 1 bullet, but he made it count. Now it's a 2 versus 3 situation. Make that a 2 versus 2 TSM equalizing situation, but Lil Man going in fast and trying to go in strong, but it will end up being rather weak in the face of the Semphis AK-47. But Tarek back in there, looking to make a clutch similar to the previous round. 1 versus 1, 5-7 is out. There's the flick. It's going to be Twist with the kill. And finally, after a long stretch of wins, 4 in fact, TSM managed to bring one back home. But it was a round that could have gone either way in the end. And so definitely does lend some justice to what you said, as perhaps CLG to some extent have found a more effective way to read TSM and their play.
Well, CLG going for the force, which is 1 rifle, a bunch of nades, and a pencil and a twig down. So 3 players in mid for the CT side, looking to get that early boost on. They are the ones who Molotoved as well. We've got FNS just waiting for them to emerge. Tagging Tarek down to 24, but Tarek will win the duel with that 1M4 on the CT side. So he's done his job, and he will rotate it elsewhere. In fact, he's going to give the M4 to Lil Man. The Lil Man, Dan. The Lil Man with the plan who can.
Yeah, he's in a strong position with the M4. Got a lot to do, though, to make it work. And, oh, this is interesting. Where will Senfis look? Flick! Oh, my goodness. Great flick there from Senfis. And Automatic strolls in, finds the immediate headshot onto Cutler, and only more success will follow here for TSM as they lose only 1 player, making it a 10-5 half, which is a very strong way to start it all off if you are TSM on cash. And I have to say, they've got really great chances in this series, and if they're starting off strong like this, it's very encouraging, I have to say, in their potential. And they did look quite confident going into this one. We saw a lot of structure to the rounds from TSM as well. So in combination with them hitting their shots and not being as Rambo as they used to be, a lot of it previously was just Senfis, basically the pressure on him with the AWP trying to find the pick. Something that I saw from NRG a lot in Cash, where they have this like heavy pick style approach, no matter what they're facing, even if they're facing better equipment for picking, let's say like 5 AWPs, you can still find them trying to pick with their one AWP or their 2 AWPs. So it's great to see that TSM have a lot more structure going on. And CLG, they're going to be in for a tough time now.
Yeah, 10-5, 10 rounds on the TSMT side. That is less than stellar for the CLG team. And obviously with 3 members of their normal lineup here, things are only going to get more difficult for them as the evening continues. Speaking of which, we are into the pistol now in the second half of map 1 of this best of 3, the final best of 3 of the evening today. Points getting ever more important. So CLG 5 to the 10 of TSM. You see TSM with 2, well, with a flash, a smoke, a Molotov, and a defuse kit. That's being shared by FNS and Twist. So TSM playing retake over towards the A site. We have, I think Tarek's going for the information play over there, but the bomber pistol going towards B. Hasn't really caused the rotation, rather, for the C side. And again on Dust 2, you can also wait for the bomb to get planted here and then try and make a break for it. Let's see if you can frag anybody. So Tempest has a teammate in tow. That might cause problems for the T side.
Yeah, they get the entry straight away too. So this actually sucks right now for CLG. They got to hit some crazy headshots because the CTs have good positioning. That's usually the spot that's hard to play from, but CLG fragging straight back, leaving it in a 1 versus 2. It's doable here for Root. He picks up the kill onto Automatic. Now, oh, that should be the GG incendiary right there. And I think Root picked that up off of a CT as well. So Root killed the CT, he picked up his incendiary, and then won the round with it. That is the GGs right there.
Unless the GG Molotov.
Unless the Ts can buy incendiaries, which they can't. They have Molotovs. So interesting stuff.
Yeah, nicely done by Rue, knows his stuff. Sick on the scouts, and now it's TSM's turn to suffer financial trauma, financial turmoil.
But what kind of anti-force buy can you expect from CLG with 2 standards? Rush B no score. That's what I would do, Jace, with 2 standards. Around like this. I'm actually kind of serious as well, because if you just throw the mollies in the most dangerous spots, it's pretty good. Pretty good going. Get a fast round in there, but they are playing a bit more default. RCLG. Looks like they will end up on B regardless, though.
Yeah, they need to make this count. CLG have Kevlar helmets, pistols. Semphis trying to hide for as long as possible, but his entire body will be exposed to Tarek on the side of the bomb site there, which means the bomb will be going down, planted for Checkers. This is not where FNS is standing. So it seems these last 3 players with their armor Kevlar helmet will go for the save versus the Great Bomb. And its cohort stand, its assailants.
Yeah, so very, very simple stuff. CLG playing out the correct round in the end, which is a good call by them, and TSM deciding that a save of their CZs and Kevlars and helmets is the correct play, and indeed it is. I mean, in some respects, you know, the investment into the next round for them, they could have even just decided to, if they didn't take any armor damage, which I don't think they did, yeah, they could just get the upgrade, but it is $350. I don't know if it's worth it, because as you can see, if you go for the 4-span that first round, your money is actually very low going into the 4th round. So I definitely like that we won't see a helmet here from Automatic. Now, let's see if TSM can pick up some extra frags where they were not able to do so in the previous round. But CLG, I think they should just go for basically the same round. Nice default into a B close with an ace. Very simple, very effective. Looks like the fight will be taken to them though, and this might just force the issue towards B regardless.
Yeah, CLG forcing the aggression now. Making sure there are no dodgy hiding places here, but it's still one more to find, which is Automatic. And Rue will take him down, so Automatic's body giving the game away for him. So Rue coming in to do what Six could not, leaving 2 CTs behind.
By the way, I love the first Molotov we saw goes into the spot in the corner directly below the vent. And one of the reasons why that Molotov is the most key first Molotov instead of the crate is because you can peek the crate, as we saw, safely without exposing yourself. But you cannot peek that position without exposing yourself. The entire point of that position is that it's kind of like a crossfire with the guy on headshot. Because if the guy on headshot starts shooting you as you're running to try to look at that angle in below the vents, then you're going to shoot that guy, and then the guy from bed pops out and just kills everybody. And we've seen that happen many, many times. It's a very, very standard kind of setup. So that it's great to see that, you know, that level of detail there from CLG. And now TSM though, they'll be able to buy the AWP onto Semphis, who did save some extra cash just so he could get Kevlar with it as well. And the rest of TSM on rifles, but not all the grenades they would like, but it should have to do for now. One thing to note, no kit at all. That can often be a round losing issue.
Yeah, I believe we saw it much earlier on in this match, where it was a bit of a problem. So Team CLG are going for a set execute onto the A site here. Automatic is in a position to boost or stand on the light above Squeaky. I'm sure boost would be preferable. So we've got the quad smoke coming in. We've seen some Molotovs go to the dirty corner there. And indeed, Automatic will make himself known now, but Tarek's going to take him down straight away. Semphis has taken Rue down elsewhere though. So trying to hold a passive angle. There it is. While he gets naded, going to force his way out of the smoke here. Got players coming in for the high ground, but they're going to be flashed off. So there's only so much that can be done in this situation. 2 versus 2 though. CT's coming from short.
Yeah, but JDM's still alive. The problem is they need to actually plant this bomb, and the CTs have to be careful not to overstep. Because when the bomb goes down, that's the player in a position that they realize, and they'll actually gang up on Tarek now. So, oh, look at this. JDM pulling out the P250, able to take down one. Let's find Finesse as well. This is such a weird position right now because Finesse just wants to get into a safe spot, but he's going to be able to take down JDM. Again, very awkward position, and TSM trying to engage. And in a lot of spots, you're going to see the CTs not engage until they hear the bomb plant sound, because that tells them where one of the Ts is, and that means that at that very moment, unless it's a pure fake, they get a 2 versus 1 if there's the other player is to peek them, or they gain ground for the cost of planting the bomb. So lots going on there, but it will be TSM with the round and Semphis with the aggressive peek very close here towards the storage, and there are a lot of players there.
starting to back away now. Other CTs. But there's still a one in vent at the moment. So we'll see what role he has to play in this. So he's holding an angle. So finally, somebody gets taken down. That little man with the bomb on the site. Semphis, FNS going for a two-man spray down. Will only be the one. Now things are made of 3 versus 3. Stick coming in from the top, but what else can he do here? Gets taken down by Tarek before he can retreat. 2 versus 2. Bit of a crossfire between Tarek and his teammate, Automatic. And Semphis will be looking to come in as Automatic leaving Cutler alone, having bereaved him. So Automatic and Semphis. Time is on their side for the moment, but neither is carrying a kit. Maybe there's one on the site itself. They'll move together to try to trade. Worst case scenario, down goes Semphis though, leaving Automatic, and he will get the frag and should have time to defuse the bomb as well. TSM finally back to winning ways. Indeed, they will have time to get that bomb down. To defuse it, sorry.
Two massive impact frags there from Automatic and also from Semphis, because Semphis got the first kill through the smoke. And then what that did was that meant the bomb dropped. So that meant then the player who didn't want to move onto the site then had to go and pick up the bomb and try to get it onto the site. And then whilst that was happening, Sick perhaps realized this, he pushed Heaven and caught this player out of position, killed him, bomb was dropped again. That meant another player was now away, not able to support the vent room. Automatic comes in, gets a one-on-one. Like so many situations, small situations there, impactful frags from TSM, but looks like they go with a door push here. I don't think they've shown this just yet, and looks like Tarek has a defensive position for this, so surely TSU loses his head in his position. Tarek has designed himself to deal with that, but he's going to go down despite expecting aggression, having the superior position and superior weapon. That is not a good situation for Tarek and the CLG side. And with that aggression and the quick pick, TSM can now just sit back to the default setup and hope to rely upon the advantage of the men and give up the potential advantage that would happen if they took a risk and got some more information.
So what can CLG do with this man disadvantage? About a minute on the clock here. Lil Man should be opening the door soon. I think he might be setting up to smoke quad for his team. Again, it's always a bit of a double-edged sword when you smoke quad because you have to breach it to get the bomb down in those cases. So in fact, he'll be going for the short smoke there. Should spot Automatic up high. Automatic going to reset his position, but going to get caught out looking towards main there. So a 4 versus 4. 3 of the 4 players are over here. Make that 2 of the 3 players as there's one lurking in mid. Other than that, down goes the bomb. So we've got a flank coming in there, but Semphis drop position, goes for the 180 there, takes Cutler down, and JDM from the front as well. 13-8 in favour of TSM now.
Yeah, great AWPing from Semphis, great support from his teammates as well. And the one shot that he did miss, his teammate picked it up immediately to save him. So brilliant hold there from TSM. CLG now struggling to even buy. In fact, they're just going to have to go for a bit of a quasi instead and get themselves on a quick plant perhaps to reinforce their buy, in which they'll have in the following round. So no grand expectation from them in this one, but you never know. And I like how TSM are playing right now. They're playing a bit of a retake, in fact. Although that said, I mean, I thought Automatic would play further back, but now he's moving close just as the push comes in. And of course, this has now been spotted. Let's see if they can hold on to this bomb site. Looks like it's not going particularly well for them so far, as the bomb will be planted and Automatic lost. But in comes Sick there, taken down from the side, and all of a sudden, it is in favor of CLG with the men. Here comes the well-equipped Semphis and Twist. It's pretty good indeed. Just one player left alive. And there you go. Frag made by Semphis. And that is all she wrote in this round.
Who better than Semphis to clutch through the carnage? 27 frags. He is far above everybody else on the server at present. 2 rounds away from game 1 as well, TSM.
Yeah, there's a reason why we always talk about Semphis. It's not for no reason.
Semphis is indeed the man, or at least one of the men. So 8-14 now. TSM have almost doubled the score of CLG at this point. CLG have a pretty good buy. They got the bomb down. They've got tons of Molotovs, full nades, full buy from them. Moving 2 towards Squeaky on this occasion. There's a player forklift, that is sick. Again, there's two in, well, three now towards A. The bomb's been left though in T warehouse. I wonder what the players from the CLG players on the A bomb site, or maybe it's going to be a fake in one direction or another. Seems that Vent is going to be taken in B by CLG, and then they're going to boost a player out of Vent into mid. So the bomb might be collected and taken over towards the A site.
There you go, quick peek from Sick. Oh, looking to get a double, but Little Man shuts him down. Good timing there from Tarek, but a trade immediately from Automatic. So fast response here from the CTs, but that does come at a cost because it means that Cutler gets his freebie straight up short. No one to watch short there for the CTs as it was abandoned, or the flick from Semphis this time. Land, oh my goodness, what's going on? We see from Rue's perspective, two of his teammates standing side by side, getting blown away by Finesse, who's now going for the long man rotation. Don't know what long man rotation means. Long rotation by man, perhaps, would be a more accurate way to go with that sentence. But round one by TSM, regardless. And this is good that the bomb did go down for CLG to just get the extra nades on players like JDM who are quite poor, but otherwise TSM one away now, and they're up against a strong buy.
Right then, so CLG will continue to pile on the pressure, although really the pressure is on them at the moment. TSM on the cusp of a shock victory here, perhaps in game one of this best of three. Just to review whether Flake Hayes has back authentication errors, so he will not be playing today. And because FULLHD is no longer in the team, Lil Man is playing for that. So TSM with some aggression over towards the bomb site, and then Nade will finish things off there for Cutler. That could be his last bullet in this particular game of this best of three again. Oh, misses a shot somehow onto JDM, and the T's might think that's an MTT bomb site. Lil Man gets taken down in mid. Rue gets traded by Twist. So we've got a 3 versus 1, although the 1 is JDM, which can be like having 6 on certain other teams. Sees Twist, but not fast enough, and he will get taken down. So 16-8. TSM finished with double the score of CLG. I mean, I don't know how much there is really for us to say about CLG, at least, where they have 2 subs, but what can we say about TSM?
I mean, well, there is more structure in the team. I think that's fairly clear. You can see there's a bit more of a, I would say a bit more of a leash on Semphis. You know, usually we would see him going for more risky plays, but we do see, at least in this matchup, and I kind of pointed this out earlier on as well, that the way that you win this matchup is by taking less risks, because they don't need to take them, because you're going to see more mistakes from a team which has 2 stand-ins, and you can just abuse the mistakes as they come in, or the lack of coordination, or maybe the more inconsistent execution you'll see. Just that's where you can get your advantages. You don't need to go full God mode Semphis or Pasta Semphis, you know, where you're going for these like really risky peaks, and a lot of the time he can hit them, but it's the times when he doesn't hit them where that maybe his team's economy is a little bit off balance, and then it can just send everything into chaos. But what we saw here was we didn't really see that. All we saw was Semphis doing a good job playing pretty steadily. We didn't see anything crazy, no ridiculous risks, no ridiculous pug style play, and that we're so used to seeing. So that's encouraging, and that's what they have to do to beat CLG. And moving on to Overpass, they're going to need that, because CLG typically were a pretty good Overpass team with JDM especially, but it is quite a tactical map, a very nuanced map, a lot of stuff going on there. You can't just play the pug styles, so it's going to be interesting to see if TSM have done their homework here as well.
Well, we will get into that in more depth after the break. Map 2 will be Overpass. We'll see you back here in a few minutes. Is my mic plugged in? Yes, it is. That's great.
It's
I was
mine.
doing jumping jacks while we were on break. So I thought maybe it wasn't plugged in, but it is, Dan. It is. I'm plugged in. I'm all the way in.
I wondered if mine was even on, but I think it is because I can hear myself.
I can hear you too, Dan.
That's good.
So it seems both our mics are connected. So it's time for the Score Esports pre-game breakdown. Very quickly, it's overpass. CLG have 2 subs. End of the breakdown.
Yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of the Score Esports,
Pretty
Dan,
much.
have you installed the application on your phone, Dan? It is available on the Google Play Store or iOS App Store. I installed it today.
But I basically said yes.
During the long break of our first game in North America, I actually was like, oh, I'm going to have a look at this. It's really cool. It tells you exact round you're on, the score, obviously. I have more delving to do into the app itself, Dan.
Okay, I think, yeah.
But the score does, in fact, Dan, tell you the score. That's very important.
Score Esports tells you the score.
It does indeed.
Esports. All right, so as far as this match goes, TSM, okay, we're into the pistol, which is great. But TSM, I mean, even if they haven't done all the homework on overpass, they just have to apply the same approach. Just keep it simple, keep it risk-free, or as risk-free as you can. Obviously, you always have to take risks, and you should be good in this matchup. But JDM's always going to be dangerous. You know, Tarek and Cutler, if they're going off, always dangerous. Still man in the right position, and Rue as well, showing some prowess with those weapons. But it's going to be the first player down here for the CLG side. Make that 3 players down for them. Tarek, he has a candle at the end of his name. And there is Rue. What is that a picture of? Not even sure, but now he's dead.
So, Tarek he's walking slowly down because he doesn't want the light to go out in the candle. Like a candle in the wind. Well, he's doing very, very well here. Patient play, and FNS has been dispatched off. So it's Tarek versus Twist to see who gets off to a good start in this second game of this versus 3. Oh my god, the 180 in the face. Tarek's like, oh, get wrecked. 3k for him. That was a juicy frag indeed. Remove the candle, sir. You are definitely alive.
That is definitely quite sad for TSM. I mean, sometimes that just happens. I mean, Tarek is I would say Tarek is probably the best player for a pistol round on CLG. Generally speaking, from all the stuff that I've seen of him, you know, he's a guy that could really go ham, like kind of like Forrest, you know, for NIP in that sense with pistols. But yeah, he really showed it there, and there's nothing you can do in a pistol round. Sometimes you just get tapped in the face, and that's it. And we're going to see the force buy from TSM. This is super cool because they got the bomb down. And you know, typically a team will save one, fully save, go for the AKs in the following round. But if you have a force buy like this, it tells you the team has a plan. But that sucks for Sick. He got tagged down really heavily there. He's got a lot of nades. He's going to want to use those nades before he dies. So let's see what positions TSM can find themselves in before they commit players to death.
Yeah, we got quite the rotation coming in here from the CTs as well. They've got one person in B who appears to be maybe rotating. We'll see if TSM are brave enough to take a step back here because all the players are coming in now. Lil Man with a 2-man, Lil Man with a 2-man, leaving 2 TSM players. So this force is not really working out as intended here for TSM. They've taken down 1 player, so minimum damage as well, and obviously they won't have the AK for the next round. No plant to boot, so this will be an eco round for the Ts.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those spots where you feel like if you have the good round, that, okay, we're going to guarantee the planet at the very least and like a 2 or 3 frags. And if that happens, they'd be in a spot right now where they could absolutely force buy again to just try to crush CLG straight away, keep the pressure up. And even if they lose a round, if that same thing happens, every time it gets better for them and worse for the other team because their bonus goes up all the time. But anyway, push comes in, and it's a bit of a firing range, I'm afraid to say, for TSM.
Oh no!
That was negligible damage. All right, well, Finesse will find the finishing blow there anyway. So CLG with a more or less clean round. And they'll be looking to compound their strength and go from strength to more strength now that the AWP is on JDM. He is going to be pretty important. Last time TSM found good ways to shut JDM down on the T side of Cash. Will they be able to do so on overpass? We shall see.
Going for the early aggressive peek, and for some reason, Tempest is going to go back and have a look. and he will be punished for doing so.
Cool thing there is that JDM, I don't know if you like checked his reticle, but the way that he did that shot was that he spotted the shoulder of Semphis, but he waited for a wide peek. He didn't actually move his crosshair at all, and just let Semphis like move into it. That was very cool from JDM because it's a fast shot. Shows you experience.
Ooh.
Heuristics at work.
JDM and Lil Man have been taken down very quickly in response to the second frag coming in for CLG, which puts the CTs in quite a predicament here. Over a minute on the clock, and this is a bit of an awkward situation for them. We see Rue just moving away as Automatic starts to slide in, and the attack's going to get taken down. Rue up top's going to trade though, while moving in towards B, where both the Ts remain. So we'll see how FNS manages to get off the site itself. Got smokes flying in. That's a nice juicy nade onto Rue, and FNS will take up the angle in the water. Will his teammate hold his back though? This might be quite an off angle. I don't think the Ts will check it from this particular approach, and indeed they won't. So Cutler knows where he is now, and he will trade 1 versus 1. We've got Twist versus Cutler. Cutler's going to have to look for this player. No hero diffuse coming in. Twist looks like a non-believer, looks like a believer. Oh, the timing though, Cutler gets taken down. So TSM get their first round on the board here. We'll look at the money on the CTs. It is good for some, not so much for others.
Yeah, that was a very, very important one for TSM to pick up straight away. Try to get themselves in this one. And so the only thing that they need to do now is to string them together. And this is, of course, a very important round just due to the fact that the loser will eco. So it's kind of worth 2, depending on how well the winning team plays the anti-eco, but or anti-quasi, whatever it'll be. But either way, let's see how TSM play this. They've got a lot of pressure towards the A-long area. In fact, they are sending the entire team towards A-long. This is super interesting right now because it's obviously, again, a kind of strategy that TSM have in the books, in the strat books. A nice little pop flash there from Lil Man, although it bounced so many times, perhaps they were able to hear that one and look away in time. JDM missing the flick, unfortunately for him, giving his position away. Now this is super cool because with JDM being there, they probably would have expected him to be playing A from the site or something like that. So now they know that they can get onto the site really fast because they've pushed past JDM already because he's stuck in connector. He can't come out, and now they just have to get onto the site ASAP. There's 2 players here to defend. Oh no, that volley's not going to be good, and oh my god, the double frag. Teammate goes down there, but Twist, everyone is going to die in the wake of Twist's entry.
Beautiful.
And what is that? Just the wall bang into the face of JDM, and Twist going absolutely nuts. Killing everyone, James. Teammate, friend or foe, he's a guy that he probably just shouts friend or foe and kills you no matter what you say, James.
Sometimes you gotta get a bit of collateral damage, Dan. As long as you achieve the main objective.
Yeah, sometimes it is actually really important to just kill, like, the dude.
Somewhat.
Take the shot.
Yeah.
Take the shot.
Well, fast play from TSM now into the B bomb site. We've got Tarek a bit stuck on short B here, but doesn't seem to have been spotted by the teams just yet. Down goes Rue though in the CT water. What can Tarek do now? Trying to cause some offense with the P250, but it won't be the case. So Cutler alone with the USP instead, and that is 3-3. TSM quickly catch up to the score of CLG.
Do you know what that was, James?
Sausage rolls.
It was an anti-eco round.
Oh.
By TSM. That's really nice that they actually played a fast run into B. You can see, the approach. That was a classic and one of the classic overpass anti-ecos. So, talking about that structure, what the bootcamp may have added, or rather the team house may have added, it seems like something's been added, whether it's team house related or not. There is definitely more structure from TSM. Now it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to play this round. I'm quite curious from the strategies that they pick, as they aren't the team with stand-ins. They are the team that have been working hard. And there is the smoke from Twist. Where does that one go, Mr. James? Is that for the barrels?
The barrels, if he stands in front of that barrel and goes to the top of the striped spire, that would land on the site to help
to
plant the bomb.
Block water?
No, it just like there's a rail on the end of the site itself.
Okay.
And it goes in the corner, which allows you to plant. So from down there,
okay,
this
so
is
for
a
water.
bit of an altar one, yeah.
that water vision.
So a bit of a wall there, but there is a gap in the wall, and Cutler's going to get shot through that gap. 2 men left here for CLG, so it's all falling apart once more. The dog is running through the Jenga dam. It's all over the place. It's all over the shop. It's a damn mess.
Wow. And again, we see a delayed opener into a quick set piece onto the B bomb site, and they take the round. Is this the same TSM? What is this? That's great. That's great to see that. A lot of teams, I think, would probably not bank on getting the A round in there, but perhaps if they're afraid of just running into, well, I guess they shouldn't be afraid of running into AWPs, but that's a good round if you are afraid of the AWPer on long, which some teams, they can find that they'll be, maybe consistently losing out against a strong, a strong overpass team that's got a variety of setups towards the A side of the map with a strong AWPer that can be very hard to deal with sometimes, to be honest, unless you know all the right pop flashes and how to take positions correctly. And well, either way, TSM 4 rounds now against CLG's 3, and the buy is not good for CLG. They don't really have much to show for themselves, of course. It is a save, and Millman did save his gun, so he'll have something, but how will CLG work their way into damage on this round? Onto the TSM side, I wonder.
Time will tell. You see it's a bit of a stack here in Connector. Kind of like apps on Inferno, if you will, when you're on an anti-eco. I think if you're going to have short players, if you're going to have players in short B, then you often want somebody in Connector just holding an angle on the door itself. So if the CTs try to pincer your teammate, you can help them out. Little man going to get taken down towards long. Smart stuff so far. Again, with 5 AKs, you've got to be careful walking through. I don't think this is a good idea. Automatic is just creeping now, and indeed he's going to get taken down. So 1 player in Connector on his own. I don't know why you would do that on an anti-eco, because you're playing close quarters. You have no choice but to play close quarters. That's why Inferno apps is so rare in this kind of situation. 3 versus 3 now. Cutler's got an AK, a CZ in play as well. Those are 2 very dangerous weapons. Obviously the P250 can put in work. So, plant, brazen plant as well. Cutler gets taken down. There goes the AK for a second, but he did have a teammate close. I think JDM was trying to grab it, but that Molotov will ward him off. Oh no, he managed to get it actually, excuse me. And it seems he may be, no, he's not going for the safe. He's still coming in for the push here. JDM versus 2. It's 0 versus 2.
It really looks like TSM put in a lot of work, to be honest. They're playing some good, decent Counter-Strike, to be honest, right now. And this is actually, I think, at the start of the series, I said what I really wanted to see was exactly, some of the stuff we've seen from TSM, where all the stuff that they've been putting into practice to be like a good team playing team Counter-Strike, and the good fundamentals of Counter-Strike. I wanted to see that in this match executed well. And so far, they're showing us the work that they've put in and the structure that they've put in. And it looks like they want to go for a walk through the monster tunnel. There's Rue close though, flash out. That will deliver his position, the information of his position. He'll get traded upon. Tarek instantly dropped there by the barrel position. Now that is going to be very annoying for CLG, because they've got to go for the retake now. Not really having, the defensive players not having really inflicted enough damage. So it's going to have to be down to players such as Lil Man to work their way in then. That is what they'll begin to do. Automatic will lose his life. Dispatched, sent back to the bench now as this goes for 3 versus 3, but Twist is up to the task, taking down Cutler by water. He's got support in Sick now. Oh, so rather, sorry, support in, is that Finesse or Semphis? One of the two. One of the other 2 players on this defense. It is Finesse. Thank you, Mr. Observer Sliggy Man. Mr. Sliggy Man. He's not just Sliggy James, he's Sliggy Man.
Well, all right then.
I'm just delirious, losing it.
JDM saving the AWP is important for CLG. Again, what a flurry of rounds here from TSM. That's just a flurry of rounds. 6 rounds. CLG a bit shell-shocked at the moment. Yeah,
I mean, what we just saw was, we saw a contact play through Monster into the B-bomb site. Previous round was just slowly taking control towards A, which they've done a few times, a bit more of a default. Then the previous round to that, we see, one of the ways that they win the round is like a B set piece. They have a lot of variety in the rounds in which they're playing, but they're all planned, James. They're not like, let's just run out and see if we can get some kills and then call in the mid round. They actually have planned start to finish, which is good to see. You might get some aggression here if CLG want to take away Suez, but it comes at risks. Let's see if the risk is numerous. If there is risk to be had. So they take it for free, more or less. But in comes a lot of players, and Rue makes his presence known, but it is favorable for TSM. TSM keep getting the better of these trades.
Yeah, they need to be wary of this CZ from Cutler, though. He is playing close quarters with them. Memphis, I don't know if that was sort of the trajectory of that, but a flash comes in for the wrong angle there, and Cutler will take automatic down. 2 plays on short B, and maybe Cutler can retrieve that weapon. Still 2 over towards A, but 1's rotating towards B, as TSM seem to be abandoning. All CLG hear the sound cues there. They've still got 2 people stuck on the B bomb site, but they should hear this running from toilets from downstairs. Those walls are very close to each other, and you can see the full rotation coming in for the CTs. But will it come fast enough? Little man on the site, flashes coming in. Semphis to take him down. Had a long spray there, but just didn't get the kill. There goes Cutler as well, leaving JDM alone versus 3, and that is nothing to shake a stick at. He is entirely capable of bringing this back. The bomb not planted yet. Down goes Semphis as well, leaving FNS alone versus JDM. FNS coming in for the flank now, but he needs to be fast because JDM is JDM, unfortunately for FNS.
Yeah, and one thing to note is just generally the amount of ult frags that JDM has been able to get in this series. Because the style that TSM is playing is basically, okay, we're playing it slow and deliberate. We're going to use grenades to stop the ult from having pick opportunities. Then we're going to take a bomb site. Yeah, and then good luck using an AWP when there's smokes up and when we've got the bomb site. They just put the AWPs into the worst position with a style of play like that. That's why it's so good against an individually styled team, as any team would be with stand-ins. But TSM, they've been denying opportunity for CLG to use JDM, and again with the stand-ins, CLG haven't been able to get much opportunity to find JDM into good positions to make frags or to use the AWP or to play aggressively, because playing aggressively with the AWP, that relies on having teammates that can support you correctly. And again, if the knowledge is not there for that combo, then you're going to have a trouble. But here it is. Oh, that was stunningly fast from JDM. See you later, Twist. Now Semphis, can he get a return? Will JDM even bother to re-peek? Ooh, that looked like he was actually on there. The Semphis must have been pixels off, in fact. Finesse finds the support of Lil Man. But JDM, this guy, he cannot put a foot wrong.
Yeah, takes on the bomb carrier as well, which is lots of information for the CTs. And here comes Cutler with the flank. JDM now gets taken down by Sick. We've got T streaming all over the place. I say that there's only 2 of them left, and that bomb still needs to be retrieved. Still being protected though by Cutler. Holding an angle towards 6 position. 35-second left on that clock. The longer it takes the T's to retrieve the bomb here, the more likely it is that they're going to go to the A site. And his shadow will give his position away as well. And he will get taken down relatively easily, leaving automatic alone. 20 seconds left on the clock here. So this round is becoming unwinnable for automatic. And there it is. I don't think he can pick up the bomb and make it to the site on time, all things considered. Can't do any more damage either. He will get taken down. TSM's lead, is reduced to 1.
And it's all because of JDM. He basically won the last 2 rounds for them in many senses, able to... that first kill onto Twist was just so fast. I'm not sure if he was even... He might have just been blind as well when he took the shot, which is why it, to us would have looked so amazing. But ooh, we get the anti fast Suez take Molotov there, but there's no spray down. Oh, there you go. Looks like Semphis gets a pick on the Tarek, but what will happen? What is the response from TSM? Do they commit into the B set piece? It's like they really want this. They got their setup on Suez and on Monster, and there go the nades. Rue's got a lot to deal with right now.
Yeah, short pushes and long pushes at the same time. Got to go for a full spray because he needs his bullet. Oh, Six gonna get the position first. Rue was blind, gets taken down. Trace coming back in for both sides. This is absolute mayhem now. 3 versus 2 with the 2 CTs rotating into the side. The bomb's not down just yet, so they've got time to play with. Bomb's still not down, but I think there will be a bit of a giveaway as to where one of the plays is. See the noise of the collision with the fire. I believe that was Semphis. Angle picks by JDM, but it's not going to pay off for him. 3 versus 1 now, and Lil Man has looks like he's been ordered. Maybe, I think he, well, 1 versus 3, make it 1 versus 2. Can Lil Man clutch it for his brethren, for CLG? The HG's coming in. Ooh, Semphis hasn't got much HP to survive these kind of nades. There's the second one. FNS gonna hold on though.
The Lil Man is dangerous.
Lil Man almost all the way, but not quite.
His name is very unsuspecting. It's just Lil Man. But Lil Man sometimes eats the I don't know what the like the 1-up mushrooms or whatever from Mario. He's got a bunch of those. He becomes the big man, goes for the big man plays. But we're going to see this 5-7 now. So CLG have scraped together a more respectable scoreline. TSM showing every capability to understand how to play a more structured game style, especially against the pistols. And that is a situation CLG find themselves in. Just pistols. Although I say just, there are some nades in support as well as Kevlar and helmets. So they are deceptively strong, especially from positions such as this. Close range with that 5-7 from JDM. And TSM looking to push their way in slowly now to deal with these positions, but Molly would be very useful here. There's a flashbang. Will that be good enough? Headshot angle there for JDM. The peek comes in. Can be awkward, but he does get dealt with. 44 health on 6, so only losing a total of 66 there.
Yeah, those tunnel pushes on the 4 spies and anti-ecos are somewhat dangerous, and so is the amount of time left on the clock here by TSM with 4 players alive for CLG. We know what this means, especially in North America. It means carnage, uncertainty, bedlam, anarchy, and potential loss of a round.
56, by the way. Can't do math. All right, well, it's going to be a very interesting situation if TSM can pick up this round and get the momentum back. I wonder if we'll just see more set pieces from them. It's been quite successful. This is kind of what we were talking about before as well. JDM is so dangerous towards long that when he has the AWP in hand, that you got to expect TSM will just find those advantages towards B. A little bit of damage done there, but otherwise looking pretty good. If you're TSM anyway.
Yeah, because everyone's dead on CLG then.
Yeah. It's a definition of bad.
That's one definition, I suppose. So these are not good times for CLG. Not good times at all. But as we move into the closing stages of the first half, I do wonder what TSM's defense is going to be like on their CT side. And how many rounds do you think that TSM would need in order to have a very good chance of taking it?
I think they're on good track here. I mean, I think 10 is definitely very solid, but to hold that forward, just to see the execution here now as the anti-eco play comes in, and they've run this anti-eco play previously, so showing good cognizance of their opponent's economy, running the right rounds, like right tools for the right job essentially, right rounds for the right situation. Cutler's going to finish off. Siki was quite low anyway, but he's only got a USB and no Kevlar. But yeah, you know, I think the 10-5 is quite possible for TSM if they get a nice cheeky set piece in, and it's as effective as it typically has been. Then I think they're going to be pretty good here. This map can be quite CT-sided, and let's not forget, it only tends to be CT-sided if you've got 2 teams that don't really know how to play that T-side super well. And I think CLG with 2 stand-ins, the T-side is going to be very hard indeed. Especially if they lose that pistol, you got to just count them out almost. Because I mean, JDM doesn't get an AWP if that happens, not anytime soon. But anyway, the important buy round here to give CLG that 6th round is in play, and JDM does not have an AWP. He's got an M4 at the moment. Let's see if he can be the impact player that they need.
Well, he will trade for Lil Man. Let him forward. The trades continue now. See if Twist and Joe can get solidly. Cutler dancing behind the bomb boxes, and he will get taken down, left in the fire as well. Rue gets traded. Trades for the TSM side. 3 versus 1 for Tarek. We've seen madness before. Bomb doesn't get planted. Still lots of time though, and not many places for Tarek to hide. There are only 2 flashes and a smoke on these final 2 TSM players. Semphis just holding presumably to the right of Optimus, and now over towards the left. So this way will Tarek go. Tries to get the follow-up frag, but makes not enough of a connection onto automatic. 10-5.
I was really scared there that they would lose the round to a Tarek clutch just because there is no cover at all for the bomb to go down, because they were very, I mean, perhaps they really felt like the rotation was going to come from connector or something. I'm not sure. But I mean, typically the ideology as well is that if you get in a situation where it's a 2 versus 1 and the bomb's down and they're both of your Ts are in toilets, even in a 1 versus 1, that's really hard for the CT, because he can't fake the bomb defuse basically, because to defuse the bomb you have to look down into the crate and the guy shoots you in the back. So it's very easy to see what the CT's doing, and it's quite a far distance, so you can't, by the time you try to run there to flush them out of the position, you've lost so much time that you might just lose because of the time anyway. It's like such a hard position. So I don't know if they're just thinking too far ahead and in doing so not covering the planter in that way, but yeah, not covering the planter in that sense can be very scary. And either way, TSM with a 10-5 looking very good. All they have to do is close a pistol round and their chances are surely going to be insanely strong of taking this in a 2-0.
Well, using the range into the tunnel, lots of spam there from Sempis. Got to be careful, there are only 2 magazines left for him, and there's still very early indeed in this pistol round. So lots of body shots coming in there, but the headshot finally comes in as well, and the T's are getting a bit aggressive. Twist taking down Rue, and CLG now maybe going for a bit of a plan B, the bomb moving away from the B-bomb site, as are the rest of the team. There are 3 CTs in short right now, and they've got control of connector with nobody currently upstairs, but don't need to rotate fast because CLG are closing the distance advantage of these USPs. That said, they haven't got a single frag yet, CLG, and it's JDM versus 5. He won't get one either. So that is a disaster, a veritable disaster for CLG.
Yeah, I mean, again, the team with standards, if you're on the CT side, okay, you can put players in positions. You just got to play around this position. It can be very, very similar to playing on other teams. If you get the same position, you kind of know what to expect and how to play the setups and read the minimap. But in this kind of a spot with 2 standards, like, you won't necessarily know the right grenades for any strategies. How do you decide to work on the round? The pistol round's not even the issue, in fact, because you can just run into a site and just hope everyone hits their headshots. So once you have the buy, I'm still struggling to see how they will win these rounds against TSM. So here you go, the push comes into the B-bomb site from the CLG side, and so Cutler's going to pick up a frag, but the SMGs will do the damage. Although 1 versus 2, although 17 HP for Rue. So there's probably no way he gets bomb. Okay. Yeah, 12-5. TSM looking really good for the 2-0 right now.
Yeah, a bit of a shocking 2-0, but again, TSM playing essentially with, CLG essentially playing with 2 subs. Lil Man and Rue, because Hayes has repeated VAC authentication errors, and because they are a member down on their permanent roster. So we have CLG moving quickly towards the party area. They have to run through the flames. Twist got to be careful though. He's down to 2 HP, and that's an M4 up close, and he hasn't been able to make an escape here. Tempest might get traded as well. Automatic coming in though with some frags, and suddenly it's Tarek alone, and he's going to get finished off as well. We'll see. You can see the CT's looking for that M4 now, trying to upgrade the rifles, but 2 rifles. But yeah, Twist shot down to 2 HP, couldn't escape, was stuck by flashbang, gave up an M4 pretty early, but TSM managed to hold on. And now they find themselves 8 rounds ahead, 3 rounds away from a 2-0 over CLG.
In the words of Tupac, hold on, be strong. So let's see if they can do that. Ooh, I believe, James. Was that the intended destination?
I have no idea.
Because it does sort of not really... it does sort of, but not really do this. That's a great way to describe something. 3 stars for me. Ooh. Shot to the side there. Oh, okay. I thought that was a transfer, James. It wasn't.
That would be an exquisite that.
Yes, it would be.
But it wasn't, unfortunately, for the little man. So TSM, a man down now early, and they look pretty stretched Gonna gamble on it being A, I think, and they're going to be rotating to the wrong bomb site because it is indeed going to be B. FNS coming straight back when he hears us. All quiet over there. Just holding an angle for his team. Flash is coming in. And he will get nothing. So Automatic's taking down the little man. Still a man disadvantage here for TSM.
When you, yeah, they're not going for this retake. So when you said stretched, it reminded me suddenly of Stretch Armstrong. Do you remember that? Little...
I do, yeah. I can forget.
And that's like the worst fate, basically. Because whenever you're like, you know, Stretch Armstrong was given to a kid because it was a kid's toy, I felt sorry for Stretch. Poor Stretch, man. Those kids, they push him to his limit, just trying to destroy him. That's basically what it is. Can I tear this guy's limbs off? That's basically what that toy is. The kids, what is that? Can I just pull his limbs off? Great. It's good stuff. But I don't understand the allure of that toy. It's like
limb removing.
It turns children into like a, I don't know, torture chamber equipment from the medieval times. Because that was a torture method. Anyway, very weird place to go to. My mind works in mysterious ways.
Speaking of torture methods, I looked up the meaning of the Bolton's flag in.
What, the flayed man?
Yeah, and I was just mortified and horrified at that.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of flaying in the show.
Let's just move on from that because that grossed me out to no end.
It is a pretty
Stop, I don't want to know.
Severe method of torture. So we shall see whether or not TSM can hold on with the double AWPs. Obviously, the setup's not perfect with a MAG, a UMP, and a P250, but if an AWP is in the right place, and Semphis, he is finding himself some cheeky positions. Oh, Semphis, are you going to go for the repeat? No, he's not going to do it, so he's not going to find a frag onto JDM. Would have been a nice pick-off from the back, and also would have caused a lot of threats to a flank, and that kind of that can always have people turning around, looking at the flank in spots when they shouldn't be, and it can be very dangerous when you're pushing in. But it's Twist to find the first frag, and Semphis, I think, made his presence known. They will be forced to smoke him off, and that's really unfortunate because he has a teammate there as well. So it's not just affecting Semphis. Now 2 of them are fairly useless, and they don't have nades to really go through that with. They're gonna have to just run through the smoke if they want to get out of the smoke. Will they do it? Will they go for it? I guess it depends on whether the teammates, Finesse, Automatic and Co can go for the push here, but they wait and then they push. The entries will follow. Automatic and Twist in there, looking for the follows. Oh, great shot there from Semphis. Now just Lil Man against 3 players. TSM looking to hold on to this one, going for the defuse. Do they have time? Yes, they do. The kid is there, and 14 rounds for TSM. Really nice retake considering the position they were put in. And now they are just 2 away from taking out CLG. And CLG, they don't have the best money in the world. Their money could be said to suck. Because it sucks, James. It sucks.
Indeed it does. So, where will the CLG players go? 3 Tech-9s, an AK-47, and a Scout onto JDM. A Scoot. Times are hard. Life is difficult. Life is not funny today, Dan. If your name is CLG, it's not funny at all.
No.
It's not funny, it's not clever.
It's like the feeling that you have when you watch The Grave of Fireflies.
Don't know what
that's the opposite of fun, James. It's just pure sadness and despair.
Well, Twist off to a good start in round 21. That's one of the Tech-9s gone. Cutler looking to play close quarters, but nobody is willing to engage him. CTSM playing towards the back. Oh, sit down, little man.
Hello.
He just got absolutely ruined. I don't know if he was carrying the bomb. It was collected in front of his body. So if it was seen by the CTs, which is what I'm wondering, that would explain the retreat of the CLG players. But really, what can they do? Well, that's something they can do.
What can they do?
That is brutal in itself.
Well, there it is. JDM can headshot people with the Scout.
It's just, right now, it's JDM versus the world. And they are running a scared of him. He's got a Scout.
Just kidding. That looks hilarious.
Running away.
3 guys there like, oh my god.
So now it's Tariq and 20 seconds and 6 to 15 as he saves his gun in the club.
That'd be like if you saw like a bunch of like WWE wrestlers who were actually really afraid of rodents or something. And there's like a mouse scurried into the room. And they're all jumping around James. But they're WWE wrestlers. They can just crush the mouse, James. They can just crush the mouse. Why are they afraid of it? Or like the elephant to the mouse. It's probably a better thing. Aren't elephants supposed to be afraid of rodents or something? I don't know.
I have no idea.
That's like a weird stereotype that was in cartoons, but I don't know.
If you were a rodent, why would you be anywhere near an elephant?
No.
That's just asking for trouble.
Gonna get stomped on.
Exactly.
I think it's just like a weird thing that came out of cartoons. I don't know why that's in my mind. Either way, if anyone knows elephants truly are fearful of rodents, please do inform me. So that information is useful. We have now the desperation push coming in from CLG. They don't have any money. They're now losing players rapidly. They're bleeding out from all areas, looking like very hard times are beset upon the CLG players, and now it is going to be the end. The end of the line. CLG are going to be losing in 2-0 fashion to TSM, a team that has gone through a transformation, yes, but does this match do justice in any sense to CLG? No, it does not. I was, of course, 2 stand-ins, but it was a good test for TSM, because if you're going to be a team which has a new structure, this is the game that you use to win it, and that's what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's only so much we can say about the performance of CLG, considering they had 2 stand-ins. What can you really expect in that situation? No judgment on their performance at all, none whatsoever. So, yeah, I mean, based on that, there's not much to say. It was a great opportunity for TSM. They seized it. They won it. Solid 2-0, fast rounds. Job well done. We'll see. I mean, we'll see tougher tests for TSM going forward. So we'll see really where Semphis and his team lie in the grand scheme of things. So we're going to end on the Corsair rapid fire.
But first,
excuse me.
First, remember, if you guys miss anything, you can always check out csgoleague.com, which is where we store all the matches, all the VODs and everything for the past games, and you can find out any news as well, and anything to do with the tickets, I do believe, for the finals. And then that overlay at the lower third will be coming up for the tickets. In fact, it's a full screen overlay.
I'm going to do some fancy stuff with my hands.
There you go. So yeah, so there's little packages for all sorts. If you want to be there with friends or otherwise, and different seats and so on. You can see on this graphic, and it has the relevant links for you to follow if you're interested in tickets for the finals next month. And yeah, CS:GO League is an important one because there were some awesome G2 matches. So if you missed those, if you were asleep in North America, check out the G2 matches. They're super fun to watch right now. They played against Fnatic and Virtus.pro earlier, and they did, I don't want to spoil it, but they did quite well. Scream and Strox are still just wrecking everyone. So it doesn't even matter who they play. That is a joy to watch. But that's all I wanted to add, James, because people should know. People should know.
Yes, they should.
They should know things.
Absolutely. So we are going to end on Corsair Rapid Fire Plays of the Week, which I think is from a previous week, but you will find out as you watch it. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you back here tomorrow with more action from ECS.